The road was empty in a way that felt wrong. Not peaceful. Not quiet. Hollow. Snow fell sideways, thin needles scratching the windshield, vanishing beneath the headlights before they could settle. The radio crackled once, then went dead. No static. Just silence. I slowed without meaning to. That was when I heard it. A sound. Faint. Distant. Not quite a scream, not quite the wind. It rose and fell like breath dragged through broken lungs. It came from somewhere ahead. Or behind. It was impossible to tell. My hands tightened on the steering wheel. The GPS blinked, recalculating. Then the screen went black. The road sign appeared suddenly in the headlights. Mile 17. No services for 42 miles. I passed it, and immediately felt the cold change. Not colder. Heavier. The sound came again, closer now. Closer enough that I rolled the window down an inch. Heart pounding. Hello. I called. The sound stopped. For a long moment, there was only the engine, the snow, my breathing. Then a shape appeared in the road. A car. Stopped. Hazard lights blinking weakly through the storm. I slowed, dread pooling in my stomach. As I pulled up behind it, I noticed something that made my chest tighten. There were footprints in the snow. They led away from the car. And none of them came back. I stepped out into the cold, and heard a voice whisper my name from the dark. I wasn't supposed to be on that road. Everyone around here knows the stories. The true ones, the kind nobody laughs at. Winter highways that stretch longer than they should. Cars found half buried in snowbanks months later. Engines cold. Doors open. No bodies. Locals don't call it superstition. They call it experience. But when the hospital called just before midnight, fear drowned out common sense. Your mother fell, the nurse said. She's stable, but you should come as soon as possible. 3 hours away. One direct highway. Light snow, according to the weather app. I remember staring at the screen, watching the tiny white snowflake icons drift down as if that meant anything. I told myself I'd driven this road dozens of times. I told myself stories only happened to careless people. The first hour passed quietly. The world narrowed to headlights and falling snow. Trees lined the road, tall and bare, their branches clawing at the sky like frozen hands. The farther north I drove, the thicker the forest grew, tighter, darker, swallowing the edges of the road. Radio music faded in and out, distorted by distance and weather. Every time the signal cut, the silence felt too deep, like the car was sinking into it. I noticed then how alone I was. No oncoming headlights. No taillights ahead. No houses. No distant glow. Just snow and road and breath fogging the windshield. A road sign loomed suddenly out of the dark. No services next 42 miles. I slowed instinctively, my pulse ticking faster. I couldn't remember that sign being there before. The snow thickened almost immediately after I passed it, falling heavier, sharper, hissing as it struck the glass. The road dipped, curving gently through the trees. That's when I saw the car. Stopped. Hazard lights blinking weakly. Orange flashes cutting through the storm like a slow heartbeat. It sat half on the shoulder, half in the lane, as if whoever left it hadn't cared where it rested. I hesitated. Every winter driving warning ever told ran through my head at once. Don't stop. Don't linger. Call for help and keep moving. But what if someone was inside? I pulled over a few feet behind it and left my engine running. The cold hit me the second I opened the door. Sharp, biting, stealing my breath. Snow crunched under my boots, louder than it should have been in the quiet. The car was old. Rusted seams. Windows fogged from the inside. I knocked. No answer. I tried the handle. Unlocked. The inside was empty. No blood. No signs of a struggle. Just a phone lying face down on the passenger seat. Screen cracked, vibrating weakly before going still. The last call displayed one word. Dad. My throat tightened. Snow drifted through the open door, already filling the driver's seat, covering something dark on the floor mat. Mud. Or melted snow. I didn't look closer. I stepped back and noticed the footprints. They led away from the car, straight into the trees. One set. No return trail. "Hello," I called, my voice sounding thin and distant. The forest swallowed it. I should have left then. I know that now. Instead, I stood there too long, staring into the dark between the trees, listening to the wind slide through branches like whispered breath. That was when I heard it. A sound, low, trembling, not quite a sob, not quite the wind. It drifted from somewhere ahead of me, then shifted as if circling. My skin prickled. "Is someone there?" I asked. The sound stopped instantly. Silence rushed in to replace it, thick and pressing, making my ears ring. My heart hammered so loudly I was sure it could be heard miles away. Then a voice spoke, right behind me. "You shouldn't have stopped." I spun around, slipping on ice, breath tearing out of my chest. No one stood there. The road was empty. My car idled quietly, exhaust curling into the night. The abandoned vehicle blinked its hazards, patient and unbothered. I laughed shakily, trying to force the sound to feel real. "Wind," I whispered. "Just the wind." I got back into my car and locked the doors, hands shaking as I gripped the steering wheel. My phone showed no signal. The GPS spun endlessly, recalculating, then froze. As I pulled away, relief washed over me. Brief, fragile. In the rearview mirror, the hazard lights vanished. Not dimmed. Not faded. Gone. The road behind me was untouched, smooth with fresh snow, no sign a car had ever been there. My stomach dropped. "That's not possible," I whispered. The radio crackled. A voice slipped through the static, soft and familiar. "Turn back." The road ahead bent sharply into darkness. And something deep inside me knew, with terrible certainty, that whatever I'd heard out there had followed me. The road refused to end. That was the first truth I couldn't escape. I drove for what felt like an hour, then checked the clock. Only 6 minutes had passed. Snow smeared the world into a narrow tunnel of white, the headlights carving out the same stretch of road again and again. Every curve felt familiar. Every signpost looked reused, as if the night were recycling itself. I told myself panic was distorting my sense of time. But panic didn't explain the mile marker. Mile 17. I slowed, heart thudding. I had passed mile 17 earlier. I remembered the cracked 7, the way the snow had packed into the groove. This was the same sign, same damage, same lean. My stomach tightened. I drove past it. 3 minutes later, it appeared again. The radio clicked on by itself. Not static voices. Layered. Overlapping. Murmuring like a crowd trapped behind a wall. I reached for the dial. It resisted, stiff as if frozen. A man's voice cut through the noise, sharp and frightened. "Don't stop for them." I froze. The voice continued, breathless. "They'll look normal. They always do." The radio snapped off. Silence returned, thicker than before. I laughed once, short and brittle, trying to shake the fear loose. "I'm imagining this," I said aloud. Hearing my own voice felt grounding. Real. Then something in the passenger seat shifted. I flinched hard enough to jerk the wheel. Nothing was there, but the seatbelt was swaying, as if it had just been touched. I pulled over. I don't know why. Curiosity. Exhaustion. A growing need to understand. The engine idled, vibrating beneath me like a nervous animal. Snow pressed close to the windows. The forest felt nearer now. Branches bending inward, listening. I stepped out. Cold slammed into me, brutal and immediate. The kind that burns before it numbs. The road behind me was empty. No tire tracks but my own. The road ahead curved out of sight, swallowed by snow. A shape stood between the trees. Human-sized. Still. My pulse roared in my ears. "Hello." I called. The shape didn't move. I took a step closer. Snow crunched loudly beneath my boot, breaking the silence. The shape stepped forward into the headlights. A man. Mid-30s. beard iced with frost, eyes wide, too bright. He wore a thin jacket, the kind no one wears in weather like this. "You stopped," he said, relief breaking his voice. "Thank God." I nodded cautiously. "Are you hurt?" He shook his head too fast. "No. Just cold. We've been out here a long time." "We? Who's we?" I asked. He gestured behind him. The trees parted. More people emerged. A woman holding a blanket. An older man with a bleeding nose. A teenager with empty eyes. They stood just beyond the reach of the headlights. Not stepping closer. Not stepping away. "How many of you are there?" I asked. The man hesitated. "More than there should be," he said quietly. Something about his honesty terrified me. "I can call for help," I said. "You should get back in your car." He flinched. "We don't have one anymore." The woman spoke then, her voice trembling. "We followed someone. Thought they knew the way." The teenager stared at my car. "Can we sit inside?" he asked. Just for a minute. Their eyes fixed on me. Waiting. The wind picked up, carrying a sound with it. Distant crying, stretched thin by the storm. My instincts screamed. "I'm sorry," I said, backing toward my car. "I can't." The man's expression collapsed. "Don't do that," he whispered. "Don't leave us here." I slammed the door and locked it. The engine roared as I pulled away. In the mirror, they didn't chase me. They watched. The crying followed. Not behind me. Inside the car. From the back seat. I screamed and swerved, nearly losing control. The sound cut off instantly. I pulled over again, shaking now, breath coming in ragged bursts. I checked the back seat. Empty. But the floor mat was wet. Snow. Melted ice? No. Footprints. Small. Bare. Leading from the back seat to the door. I retched into the snow. When I looked up, headlights approached from ahead. Another car. Relief surged so fast it hurt. I flagged them down, waving both arms. The car slowed. Stopped. A woman leaned out the window, concern etched across her face. "Are you okay?" "Yes," I said, voice cracking. "Please, something's wrong with this road." She frowned. "You too." My heart skipped. "What do you mean?" "We've been driving in circles," she said. "We passed the same sign 4 times." Her husband leaned across her. "Did you hear the voices?" I nodded. The woman swallowed. "We picked someone up earlier." Ice crept down my spine. "Who?" "A man," she said. "Standing in the road. Freezing." Her hands tightened on the wheel. "He disappeared." The husband's voice dropped. But his voice didn't. A sound drifted through the storm. Soft. "Close. Please don't leave me." The woman gasped. "That's him." The crying grew louder, pressing in from all sides. The man grabbed my arm through the window. "We have to stick together." Behind them, shapes moved between the trees. More than before. Too many. The woman screamed as frost bloomed across her windshield from the inside. The engine died. The lights went out. I ran. I didn't look back. I didn't think. I ran until my lungs burned and my legs went numb. Lights appeared through the trees. A house. Old. Crooked. Porch sagging under snow. I pounded on the door. It opened slowly. An elderly man stared out, eyes dull, face lined deep with fear. "You shouldn't be here," he said. "Please," I begged. "That road." "I know," he interrupted. "It doesn't end." He stepped aside. Inside, the house was warm. Too warm. Photographs lined the walls. Families. Cars. Smiling faces beside snowbanks. All dated different years. Same road. Same mile marker. "They come every winter," the man said. "Drivers who stop." "What happens to them?" I asked. He looked at me for a long moment. "They become the road," he said. A knock sounded at the door. Soft. Polite. The old man's shoulders sagged. "They found you," he whispered. The crying returned, closer than ever, and I realized with sinking dread, I wasn't being chased anymore. I was being collected. The house didn't last. Not in the way I thought it would. One moment I was inside, shaking, pressed against the old man's wall. The next, the floorboards groaned as though the house itself were bending. Snow pressed against the windows like fingers, tall and tight, clawing at the glass. Shadows moved where there shouldn't be shadows. I realized the warmth was a lie. Outside, the snowstorm had stopped, replaced by something heavier, thicker. The trees leaned inward, black and impossible. The road had returned. Endless. Pale. Winding. And on it, headlights. Dozens of them. They moved too slow, too deliberate. A low moan drifted across the clearing. I spun, looking for the old man. But he was gone. The house itself seemed to shiver, wood groaning like it was alive. I ran to the door. Pulled. Locked. The handle gave, cold and solid, then jerked back as if someone on the other side was twisting it, testing me. And then I saw it. In the back seat of my car, which I had abandoned, a child sat. Eyes black. Too black. Lips smiling, thin and sharp as ice. The snow clung to his hair and jacket. One hand lifted slowly, pressing against the glass. Frost formed where it touched, but no fingerprint remained. A voice, soft and melodic, filled my skull. "Stay." I stumbled back, falling into the wall. The radio crackled again. Voices overlapping, whispers, distant screams, all layered into one unbearable chorus. "You're one of us now," it said. I lunged toward the car, screaming. The ground beneath me dissolved into white nothing. I ran, or thought I did. Each step felt heavier, like running through thick snow that didn't exist. Behind me, footsteps multiplied. Not human. Not exactly. Wet, dragging, rhythmically slow, echoing inside my skull. The child's hand pressed against the passenger window now. Frost bloomed across the glass like a spreading wound. I tried to open the door. Locked. The trees leaned closer, forming a tunnel of darkness that swallowed the road. I tried to back away. Couldn't. Every direction led me forward, toward the car, toward the waiting figures in the trees. I screamed, "Leave me alone." The voice whispered back, sharper this time. "You can't." The windshield fogged instantly. Shapes formed inside it. Faces pressed tight, eyes hollow, mouths moving silently. I could hear their breathing, wet and cold, their whispers. "Stop. Stay. Don't leave. Don't stop." I threw myself back, slamming into a tree. Pain blossomed in my side. The world shifted. A house appeared, the same house I had run from, but it wasn't right. Windows cracked. Doors twisted. Inside, shadows flickered like the walls were alive. The old man's voice echoed from the porch. "You have a choice. Turn back, or be taken." I ran toward him. The porch shifted beneath my feet, like walking on ice that wasn't ice. My legs screamed. The snow burned my lungs. I reached the steps and froze. Behind him, the forest had disappeared. Endless roads stretched in every direction. Figures emerged. Hundreds, thousands, all pale, frozen, staring. Their faces twisted in despair and hunger. Some held phones, some blankets, some empty eyes staring through the veil of snow. The old man looked at me. His face sagged with exhaustion. "It's inevitable," he said. "Once you stop, you're theirs." Behind him, the child moved. Faster now. The black eyes were all I could see. His small hand reached toward me. I flinched, stepping back. And the world changed. The road split. Two cars appeared identical to mine. Both abandoned. Both headlights off. Both waiting. A voice, mine. Someone else's? Whispered through the trees. "Choose." I backed away. Fell. The snow swallowed me, soft and suffocating. I heard breathing, cold, wet, impossible. One figure stepped forward, a man, dripping with ice, coat hanging in tatters. His eyes were hollowed sockets, dark as night, but when he spoke it was familiar. "You can't leave," he said. My father's voice. "No," I screamed. "It can't be you." "Why not?" He whispered. "You stopped. That's all it takes." The child in the car now laughed. A sound like cracking ice. The figures around me pressed closer. The old man's face flickered, changing into dozens of faces, all pale, all waiting, all with the same whisper in unison. "Stay." I scrambled backward, fell into a snowdrift. The wind carried 1,000 whispers, all my own name. I scrambled for my phone. Nothing. No signal. No service. Just endless snow. Endless road. Endless eyes. The child's hand pressed against the drift. Frost spread into the shape of a human hand. I screamed and rolled away. The old man's voice echoed from nowhere and everywhere. "Once you see them, there's no returning. Only the road." I tried to run. Couldn't. My feet dragged, snow pulling me down. Behind me, the forest whispered. Trees bent forward, forming faces. Branches scratched my shoulders. I screamed. The child's black eyes widened. His mouth opened impossibly wide. The wind carried a voice, familiar and distorted. "It's time." A flash. Snow, headlights, screaming. And I was inside the car. The engine on. But the seat was empty. No child. No frozen man. Just the whisper. "Stay or replace." The road stretched ahead. Endless. Blank. Impossible. I pressed the accelerator. Tires spun, snow flying. The speedometer didn't move. Time slowed. My hand shook. My chest burned. Then the radio, the voices overlapping, rising, shouted my name. I looked up. The trees leaned inward. Shapes pressed against the windshield. I screamed. Doors unlocked. All four. I tried to escape. Couldn't. The child appeared in the back seat. His smile impossibly wide. The black eyes stared into mine. "It's your turn." I tried to shout. Tried to fight. Tried to close my eyes. The world went white. Then silent. And I understood. The road doesn't let go. When I opened my eyes, it was spring. The snow was gone. Roads gleamed wet in the morning sun. Trees stretched toward the sky, green and alive, as though winter had never claimed them. But the highway remembered. My car was found weeks later, half buried in a ditch near mile 17. Engine cold. Doors open. Phone on the passenger seat. Cracked. Screen frozen on one word. Dad. No footprints. No signs I had ever left. Nothing to suggest a struggle, a chase, or even life. I wasn't there. I hadn't been there. I remember the snowstorm. I remember the whispers. The child with black eyes. The faces pressed to the windshield. The old man who told me, "Once you stop, you're theirs." And I remember the road. Endless, white, stretching in every direction, swallowing everything. They never came for anyone I knew, or maybe they did. News reports never mentioned the missing drivers. Locals whispered quietly, shaking their heads, looking at me with pity I didn't understand. "You were lucky," they said. Lucky. I laughed once, hollowly. But luck had a cost. Inside me the road followed. At night, I hear whispers in the wind. Footsteps that stop when I do. Shadows moving just outside my window. Sometimes, when driving, headlights appear behind me. Empty cars, hazard lights blinking. I tell myself to keep moving. But the fear is patient, persistent, unrelenting. A year later, I returned to that highway. Not to drive it, not to test myself, but to see if it had been a dream. It wasn't. Mile 17 appeared exactly where it should have. And in the trees, I saw the frozen shapes of those I thought I'd left behind. Their faces pressed toward the road, empty eyes waiting for someone to stop. I turned my car around. And I knew I would never drive that highway alone again. Even now, when I sit quietly in my house during a winter storm, I can hear it. Faint, distant, inevitable. The sound of tires crunching on snow. The low, soft whisper calling my name. Stay. I know it is only a matter of time. One day, the road will find me again. And when it does, there will be no turning back. Because the chain grows longer every year. Drivers who stop, drivers who hesitate, drivers who think they are alone. They all join the road eventually. The only choice is to keep moving. Always moving. Even when the headlights appear in the distance, when the voice calls from nowhere, when the child's black eyes stare through the darkness. Even when the road is endless. Even when there is no escape. I am changed. Hollow. Haunted. The snow will fall again. And the road will wait. For me. For you. For anyone who dares to stop. The whispers never forget. The chain never ends. And the winter always claims its due.